Hello, I'm Tam007 and this time I'm going to cover the topic of promotions and how to be an exemplary officer in the PLPD. I'll begin with the lower rank officers as officers and senior officers, and then I'll try to give you some tips how to become a sergeant if you're a corporal, and so on and so forth. So, as an officer, there are not many ways to prove yourself as a good officer other than getting observation reports. The observation reports are seen in your profile under the observation reports tabs. It's basically a report that is written by an officer ranked corporal or above on your performance on duty. The patrol has to be longer than 15 minutes. The longer, the better. And they will give you certain score for certain skills in the observation report. So the score will be reviewed by the OS commands, Operation Services commands, on a meeting when they will decide if you should get a promotion or not. If you want to get an observation report, there are some tips under Information Resources, Division Resources, Patrol, and general PDY policies, I believe, and tips for asking to patrol with a supervisor. So you have some tips here, you can read them. This is not a long document, to be honest. So if you wish to read it, then go ahead. You will get some tips out of it, some information that might be useful in getting a patrol with a supervisor. So I'm not gonna take more time on this, as I'll tell you how to get a good observation report. And there are some tips as well you might find in the police supervisors tab and supervisor policy. In the observation report guidelines, sorry. If you read through this document, you'll understand how the officers writing observation reports work in order to get it done. So the observation reports vary. Every officer has certain view on some situations. Some of them are more strict, some of them are more lenient. So this is like kind of random. You patrol with a random corporal plus, and then they will write your report. However, there are some guidelines they need to and should stick to in order to get to write a perfect observation report. They must be filled under two conditions by corporal or above: if the patrol was longer than 15 minutes, or they notice you underperforming and overperforming even when they are not patrolling with you. So you can get a random observation report from someone who did not patrol with you whatsoever, and it can be good and it can be bad. There are some tips of what should an observation report look like that they might not be able to assess all the skills listed in the observation report. They will have to give you 5 out of 5 for that, but then note it in the summary section. I'll leave this for your interpretation. However, there is no summary field on your profile. So do with this whatever you want, but they need to write something down in the summary section that you're not able to see, apparently. The points from an observation report will be deducted, but they should be deducted only when there is something written in what the officer should improve section. So you have two sections: what the officer did really well and what the officer should improve. And when someone is deducting you points for whatever reason, they need to write it down in the what the officer should improve section, and then they can subtract the points. All right. So when you're an officer, what you should do? Let's go to my profile and see my observation reports. These are from 2020. This one is not really perfect. This is not an example of a good observation report. However, it's so short that I will be able to cover the topic how to improve on them easily. So this observation report states: officer had great communication, always giving concise messages. His investigative skills were beyond his rank. He picked up on things myself and other supervisors missed. He showed perfect learned policy knowledge. And then I should improve. Your leadership never shone though. You did take control sometimes, but you just keep pushing this. So All right, we can get some information out of this report. I'll leave this also to your interpretation, as I can't really show the exact skills here. However, it is said that my leadership never shone though. So your best bet in developing as an officer is reading them. All right, I had great communication. I should keep it up, definitely. My investigative skills were beyond my rank of an officer, so I just keep it up. There's no way to improve here. My investigations are great. I come to correct conclusions, so it's also great. And my perfect law and policy knowledge indicates that I know how to behave as an officer, so I know the policies, and I know what to charge the suspects with, so I know the laws. But my leadership needs improvement. So anytime there is a situation that requires a leader, maybe even a traffic stop, maybe a shootout situation, maybe a perimeter can be led, I need to be more involved in them. So this is what you should do as an officer. Then, given the fact I made a mistake here. These were my first observation reports. I was just an officer, as probably you seeing that video. I did not really correct my mistakes in future observation reports. Only the third one was good, actually, because everyone else said I didn't do anything bad, and then he just continued what I did well. So here you see, this is not good. Your next observation report should be better than your previous one, and should not have the same thing written what the officer should improve here. Then the OS commands will see that you're working on improving yourself, and you're not repeating the same mistakes. You're not in a stale situation. You're not in a status quo. You're moving forward, and you're learning from the observation reports. Then after you get 2 or 3 observation reports that are pretty decent, I recommend you to going for senior officer, as this is probably enough you need in order to become a senior officer. When you're a senior officer, the case is the same basically. You still need to gather some observation reports. You still need to maintain certain amount of activity. You're basically, I guess, more motivated. You got higher pay. You can patrol with some sergeants, with some corporals, get yourself known around the commands as well, noticed, I guess. And this is just the same thing. But then you become a corporal. Let's say you got like 5 or 6 perfect observation reports. You passed the application with flying colors. So now you're a corporal. When you're a corporal, some more things are up to you in your career. Because when you're a senior officer as well, let's come back to senior officer, you can be involved in instance in the tactical firearms unit, or in the, I don't know, patrol trainers are not existent anymore, by RTU trainer, if you're in RTU division. So these are the secondary divisions I covered in the video about secondary divisions. Every secondary division and your role in it will probably boost your chances in getting a promotion, because you're being helpful and you're involving yourself in many situations in the PD that require your time, require your attention, and these are basically you voluntarily take part in some parts of the department that usual officers don't take part in. As a tactical firearms officer, it's kind of not the case. But if you're a trainer, if you're an investigator, if you're an active dispatcher, this might help you a bit with getting your applications for corporal or sergeant passed. This is my first tip that I wanted to share with you. The second one is writing many quality observation reports. So what does that mean? Let's come back to the resources, division resources, police supervisors, and observation report guidelines. Read this document. I mean it. Read this document. It's pretty hard to write a really perfect and good quality observation report. I've noticed many officers as corporals and sergeants who write the observation reports incorrectly. So keep this document in mind, the entirety of it. I mean it. Write, when you subtract a point, just write it down in the what officers should improve. It is not only important for you to be able to get a promotion in the future, it's also extremely important for the officers, because you're now in charge of them. You're showing them how to improve. Write it down. This is important when you subtract the points. Don't just write, okay, you did everything well, great, you're an awesome officer, and then give him 2 out of 5 points. This is not how it should work. I know you're trying to be nice. However, here you have to tell him how he has to improve in order to get the promotion he desires. So keep that in mind. Write quality observation report. Try to write as many as you can. There are many officers that are wanting to get a promotion. You can tell them, hey, if you're looking to get a promotion, I can write you an observation report and it'll be much easier for you. I'll explain you some things in the process. I'll show you what you can improve. So basically, this is the most important documents for corporals and getting a promotion as a corporal when not involving yourself in many other secondary divisions. Other than that, when you're a corporal, keep in mind that you have a much larger responsibility, and it is about pretty much everything. When there are no supervisors on duty, you can breach doors. So keep in mind, you should not abuse these powers. Any IA complaints made on you regarding abuse of your powers as a high-ranked officer, as a corporal or sergeant, will have a great impact on your future promotions. So keep that in mind. Use the equipment, the additional equipment you got, and additional permissions you got to your advantage, but not in a way that might endanger anyone or get an IA complaint on you, because this will impact your application. When you're a sergeant, you'll most likely be wanting to be involved in any secondary divisions. There are plenty of them. There are not only secondary divisions, there are some specific roles like trainers, some kind of committee members, junior committee members. You will be most likely wanting to be involved in such. This is your best way to get promoted further. If the commands are looking for any staff sergeants, they will be looking for people with some experience in the fields and that prove themselves that are capable and motivated to do their work. So by being in secondary divisions and having like good experience there, or having a recommendation from the command of the secondary division, you'll have greater chances to become a command member of any kind. You can become a command member from corporal as well, so you can be promoted straight from corporal to staff sergeant, or even to lieutenant. However, this is not always the case. It can happen. It did happen in the past, a lot of times actually. But your best bet is to be an experienced sergeant with some experience in other secondary divisions. And when you have this experience, you can try chances in applying for the command of any division. So that is all. I hope you will get your promotion soon. I hope you will join the secondary divisions you desire to join, and have a nice day.